Your permission to speak on the power of coffee.
On the power of coffee, Representative Grenn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, anyone who knows me knows how much I love coffee. My colleague behind me, actually from District 12, often nudges me up in finance if she knows I'm drinking too many cups, which is often, too often probably. I started drinking coffee right around the time I had children, which is probably no coincidence. But I'm not the only one who loves coffee, Mr. Speaker. In fact, Anchorage is the coffee capital of America. That city has more coffee shops per person, per capita, than any other city in America, roughly 3 per every 10,000 people. Anchorage is also home to a very popular coffee company with many locations around town, known for their iconic red goat logo. And for many years, this company was lucky to have a gentleman named Dale Tran as their CFO. I first got to know Dale through various community events and business group luncheons. Dale soon became someone I sought after for business advice and ideas, and of course for coffee for any of the events I was hosting for nonprofit groups I was a part of. But the more I got to know Dale, the more I was fascinated by his story. His family came to America just before the fall of Saigon, and he moved to Alaska in 1996. Thanks to his obvious talents and his hard work, Dale rose to a high level at the aforementioned coffee company. I admire Dale's commitment to the community and his devotion to help others, and I was happy to call him a friend. And coincidentally, Mr. Speaker, Dale turned out to live in my district. While out knocking on doors on the hottest day of summer, I ended up in Dale's neighborhood. He opened the door for me. Of course, we spoke at great length, but before I left, he went to his garage. He brought back a cold bottle of water. He said he didn't want me to have cotton mouth while I was out talking to his neighbors and embarrassing him. And as summer turned to fall, I was outdoor knocking in the cold and was in Dale's neighborhood again, went to his door. And of course, we spoke at great length. And but before I left, he went to his garage, got me a pair of hot hands because he didn't want me to have cold hands while I was out shaking his neighbor's hands. Going the extra mile to help someone was something that Dale just always did. Always thinking of others was something that Dale always did. Sadly, Mr. Speaker, Dale passed away this past January at the age of 42, just a few years older than I am, his children just a few years older than my children. Dale's legacy in our community is cemented. His accomplishments will be recognized forever. You can read about those in the citation that was presented on Wednesday. And if I can do half the good on this earth that Dale did, I'll consider it quite the accomplishment. Mr. Speaker, I rose today to remind people and really to remind myself that Alaska is worth fighting for. Dale thought so. I know many others do as well. We have many challenges this session, Mr. Speaker. Our state has many tough times ahead. But I'm not worried about our future because of people like Dale and the people who are inspired from people like Dale. We all know someone like Dale, someone who epitomizes the term public servant. And I know as we head into these long days of session and we are looking for that extra oomph, some extra energy, I'll be powered by coffee, but I'll be inspired by people like Dale. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.